When the camera focuses on this little life, covered in sores and reeking of a suffocating stench, would you, like the young woman in the video, choose to embrace this imperfection with love, instead of turning away in horror? He's not some terrifying monster, he's just a dog, tortured mercilessly by disease until he was raw, desperately begging for a sliver of light in an endless darkness, using his last ounce of strength. When the young woman first mustered her courage, cautiously approached, and tried to use the aroma of food to nudge open the door to his heart, a door bolted shut by fear, the dog's eyes were filled with a visceral terror and deep distrust of the world. His past life of wandering and starvation had long accustomed him to human indifference and cruel harm. However, this kind woman wasn't deterred by his hostile growls and defensive posture. Again and again, she called to him in the gentlest voice, waiting with immense patience, as if telling him in a language beyond words, "Don't be afraid, little one, I will absolutely not hurt you." Finally, his tail, almost bare with just a few strands of hair, twitched almost imperceptibly against the dusty ground. Then, it twitched again. This was the faintest, yet most precious response life could offer from the very edge of despair, to give this poor little guy a real chance to live. The young woman and her companions had to meticulously plan and set a love trap, a heartbreaking necessity filled with deep affection. The moment the catch-pole net fell from above, enveloping his small body, the dog let out a heart-wrenching, utterly desperate howl. He probably thought all the previous seemingly kind gestures were just a prelude to an even crueler game, but the young woman's gaze was incredibly firm. She knew, deep down, that this was the only viable way to save him right then, even if he misunderstood. Inside the cold, hard travel crate, the dog shivered uncontrollably from extreme fear, trembling like a leaf in an autumn wind, and the woman's heart ached, tightening with his fear. How she longed to tell him, all of this, truly, is for your own good, so you can live. The veterinary hospital became the first critical battleground for the young woman and this little dog, facing this tiny creature, who was like a frightened bird, terrified of everything around him. She poured out all her tenderness and patience. Under the microscope, countless tiny mites, squirming, clearly revealed the source of his endless suffering. That sight also pierced the young woman's heart like a needle, when the cold needle first pierced his emaciated body. A body with almost no fat proteo, she gently, over and over, stroked him, trying to transmit a little strength and comfort through the warmth of her palm. And this little dog, as if he truly understood the overwhelming compassion and undeniable determination in her eyes, surprisingly calmed down. He meekly cooperated with the treatment, no longer struggling desperately. Severe inflammation, extensive skin ulceration, severe demodectic mange. Every word on the diagnosis sheet felt like a sharp knife twisting in the young woman's heart. She gazed at the dog's small body, constantly twitching from pain, and her eyes couldn't help but well up with tears. She personally shaved off his matted fur, caked with dried blood, pus, and skin flakes. She carefully cleaned every oozing, ulcerated wound. Every one of her movements was as gentle as if handling the most precious treasure. Filled with boundless love and care, she named him Chu Bao, which sounds a bit like stinky treasure. This name, tinged with heartache and a touch of playfulness, carried her deepest hopes and blessings for his future, to be sweet-smelling, healthy, and to have a brand new doggy life. Every medicated bath, every difficult attempt to give him medicine, she stayed by his side, never leaving. With her unwavering actions, she wove a protective net for him, both warm and strong. A miracle, just as if it had been scheduled, quietly arrived under the young woman's daily, uninterrupted, meticulous care. Chu Bao began to let down his guard. Bit by bit, he slowly started to believe that this person, who had been gently watching over him, truly and genuinely loved him. When she approached slowly with a bowl of fragrant food, he would wag his tail excitedly in his cage, happily spinning in circles. When she reached out her hand, he would voluntarily come closer, nuzzling her palm affectionately with his little head, as if silently saying in his own way, thank you for saving me." That tail, once stiff with despair and representing endless pain, now became the most touching and direct emotional bond between her and Chu Bao. Every happy wag eloquently expressed his deep dependence on and endless gratitude towards this woman. Just 12 days. Unbelievable. It took only 12 short days. Chu Bao transformed from a poor little thing, terrified of the entire world and struggling desperately on the brink of death, into a little shadow who would jump for joy at her arrival and follow her everywhere. Behind this truly earth-shattering, astonishing change, lay countless sleepless nights, so much unseen hard work, and selfless dedication from this young woman. With her unconditional love, she melted, piece by piece, the thick cold ice around Chu Bao's heart with her persistent actions. She reignited his fervent desire for life and his beautiful passion for living. Chu Bao's long road to recovery, because of the round-the-clock companionship of this guardian angel of a young woman, was no longer lonely and helpless. Instead, it was filled with infinite hope and light. He was once cruelly abandoned by the whole world, even seen as a symbol of ugliness and filth. Now, however, in this woman's gentle and steadfast gaze, he found the safest, warmest harbor, a place that could be called home. Keep going, Chu Bao, and keep going, you kind young woman. This incredible story between you, like a beam of light piercing through dark clouds, not only illuminates some forgotten, shadowy corners of this world but also warms countless hearts. All of us are eagerly waiting for the day Chu Bao is completely recovered and renewed. We are waiting for this profound bond that transcends species to continue creating even more moving, soul-stirring miracles of life.